hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. Okay, can you hear me? Crap. Let's see. Did that work a little bit? Is that working? Wow, there's no echo, right? No echo, right? Is that what you guys aren't getting an echo either? Because I'm not. Okay, perfect. Okay, so you guys please check out the description so you know kind of how this works today. And I wanted to show you a new deck that I got because I'm super excited about it. Obviously, it's beautiful. Let me get myself on here really quick. Okay. You can see me. Hi. So, new deck, new stuff. We're going to look at that. We're going to do some fun stuff with this deck because it's beautiful. And I can't wait to show it to you. So it's kind of an astrology thing more than tarot, but let's look into it. Just let's give it a chance. I love it. So I know you're going to love it too. Okay, so I'm going to remove myself now and show you the L. Thanks for being here, by the way. Okay, so the whole reason I'm doing it this way is because when I give you the reading, I want to also, oh wow, that looks good too. I want to also be able to go, okay, and now da 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 da. So it's going to go like this actually. Da 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 da, and tell you about the card, you know, as we go. You know what I mean? So it was going to like, you can see it from here, and then boom, boom, I'm going to tell you here and there about different cards. Okay, you know, this means this, and da da da. Okay, so that's my whole idea with that. First off, let's look at Heavenly Bodies. This is the new deck I got. It's just amazing. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful deck. And it's got this little sleeve here. We're going to do some astrology readings today, you guys. If you guys know your birth chart, if you know your birth time and stuff, that would be even better. If you don't know your birth time, that's fine. That's cool. You don't need to know it. I mean, we can find out a lot of stuff just from knowing your birthday. So, obviously, your birthday, your city of birth, your you know, country and everything. So that's going to be important if you want to participate today. Okay, so there's nothing I can really get with your birthday and all that, so don't be worried about it like that. All I want to do is look up. Look how beautiful. It's gorgeous. It's cute. This is like, I've opened it before. That's why it's kind of torn, but, or it's not torn, but it's little. These are all the planets. And then it comes with this little, it's so cute. It's called Heavenly Bodies by Lily Ashwell. Okay, so yeah, I want to show you these cards. I want to show you kind of with myself first, since I already know obviously my placement, and you guys can kind of follow suit if you're interested in getting a reading like this. So what I'll need is your birth date. Okay, your birth date, your city and country and state of birth. And we'll look it up if you don't know already. If you already know, then you can just tell me. But if you don't know, then we can totally look it up right here, right as we're live. You know, no one has to know, but it's really no big deal. It's just your birth chart. You know, but you do need to know this. So if you don't know, we can look it up. So first I pulled house. Here, I'm going to turn it down a little because I feel like there's like kind of a bit of a glare. Am I right? House 1. I'll move you over for a sec just since we're doing this one right here. There's Bez. So, you see that? Better. House 1. Individuality, self-image, and approach to life. Okay. So my house 1 is in, God, that's horrible, isn't it? I don't know why that's so bad, but it is. Well, I'll tell you why it's not working, because this is not the one that I wanted to be solo. This is, there you go. That's better. Okay. Still can't really see that, but we're going to deal with it. Okay. So, house 1. We're talking about individuality, we're talking about self-image, and we're talking about approach to life. So if you don't know already, house 1, that's kind of your, outer, well, it's basically the embodiment of you. Your ascendant is more about what people would see when they first meet you and stuff like that. But this is house 1. And so, this is what we're going to look into, just because this is an easy placement for me to look at for myself for an example of how we're going to do this. So basically, house 1 for me has Pluto in it. Pluto, transform. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. And the reason that Pluto's there is because there's Scorpio ascendant. So, but what's interesting is that it's not only because of that, it's also because Pluto is in my first house, as well as Scorpio being, ruled by Pluto and Mars. Move forward and defend self. So you might think this person's kind of like a fighter or like feisty. It's kind of just like the embodiment of them. They're going to transform in a very kind of aggressive way. They're going to try to defend themselves. And it's not exactly the case for me. But, there is like an intensity that I guess people notice sometimes. So let's see what else we can get from this. I'm trying to look at all these cards here and find the ones that are going to go with this. So I want to look at your guys' placements. Scorpio, intensity, exposing, purging, and renewing. And it's funny because with Scorpio, that's where we get Pluto and Mars. So here we have house 1. But what is Pluto? Oh, that's so funny. It came next. It says optimism, exploration, and freedom. Pluto and Sag. So Pluto is ruled, or Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. And my ascendant is Scorpio. So Scorpio is ruled by Pluto and Mars, actually. So, we look at Pluto. Okay. Where's Pluto at in the chart? In Sagittarius. Where? In the first house. That's not going to always be the case for everybody. But when we look at Mars, it's in house 8 in Cancer. I think we already passed house 8, though. Yeah. Transformation, karma, facing fears, and legacies, which, funny enough, is actually the Scorpio house 8. So that's interesting too. Nurture, comfort, and protection. Mars, move forward and defend self. So I guess you could say maybe I'm protective of, okay, transformation, karma, facing fears, and legacies. So it's kind of an intense, I almost feel like an engulfment type energy, like somebody who's just like, if you're involved with me, it's going to be intense and you're going to get consumed by it, basically, or I am. So that's kind of how I see that looking. Transformation, karma, facing fears, and legacies, nurture, comfort, and protection. So anyway, I want to look at your guys' charts. This is just kind of like a little deep dive into one placement, and it gets deeper than that. Yeah, if you guys do want a personal question, I'm still doing personal questions, but you'd have to donate. So look into the description and you'll see all the information for that. Felix, don't even think about it. But other than that, I do want to look at your guys' charts, and we'll do that for free. We'll do that for free for sure. Because because I'm really interested. This deck is really cool, and it just kind of looks in depth at everything. So it's really interesting what you can find out. Let's see what else. Let's see what comes out. What's the energy coming out right now? If you guys do want a reading, then you can donate and let me know what your question is. But yeah, we're gonna look into your chart. So let's see. Virgo Sun. All right, well, let's look at Virgo Sun. Do you know what house it's in? If you want to look at Virgo Sun, we can do that. That's what I am as well. Virgo, integrity, reverence, and service. So beautiful. And the Sun. Do you know where Leo is at in your chart? By any chance? So Virgo, Sun. Self-express and embody truth. Self-express and embody truth. Integrity, reverence, and service. So that's you. That's what they say about Virgos, right? They like to be of service. And it's funny because, I don't know, sometimes it's not always the case for me. What would you say? Do you always like to be of service? I do like to feel useful, though. Like, I don't like to feel like I'm not useful in any way. Like, so you might relate to that, too. Let me know how you feel about that. Irvi, do you know where Leo's at in your chart? If there's any Leo, like, where would it be? What planet is it in? Or house? Okay, I'm a Scorpio. My rising is Aries. My moon is Capricorn, born Laredo, Texas at 4:27 p.m. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay. Oh, yeah, lovely Desiree. What's your birthday? That's what I need first. Got Laredo, Texas, 4:27 p.m. October 31st. 2000. October 31st, 2000, 4:27 p.m. Laredo, Texas. Let's see now. I'm so excited that you know the time of birth. A lot of people don't. Have you seen your chart before? I'm sure you have, since you already know all of this information. I'm sure you have seen your chart before, but just in case you haven't, that's your chart right there, girl. That's crazy, huh? Yours looks like you might have a yacht or something, but maybe not. Don't, I'm not positive about that. It just looks like that. It looks like kind of like an arrow, doesn't it? It doesn't seem like you have too many oppositions and squares. Like my chart looks all red. Like there's so many oppositions and squares. It's just crazy. Let's see though. Okay. Let's look at where Pluto's at in your chart. Oh my God, Felix. Ascendant in Aries, yep. Felix, go away, dude. Okay. Okay, we'll do this first. Ascendant in Aries. Figured it'd just be easier to like separate them. So let me do that real quick. All right. I don't even think we have the ascendant in here. We have to. We must have it. There's no way we don't have the ascendant in this deck. Okay. Fire. Oh, I took earth. Fire, earth, air, or water. Air, water, yeah. Or is it water, air? I don't know. But fire, earth, air, water. House 6. All right. We have house 1, house 2, house 3, house 4, house 5, house 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 houses. So for you, your ascendant, here is in Aries. Independent, bravery, and passion. Desiree. That's what people see when they first meet you. Now, Aries is ruled by Mars, right? So Mars, move forward and defend self, remember, is in, so that means the ruler of your chart is Mars, because Aries rules your chart. So your Mars is in Virgo. Integrity, reverence, and service. So it's almost like saying you're very passionate about helping others, or you're very passionate about being of service, or in some way you feel like being useful is important. Like you want to be lending a hand. And for me, like with the Virgo energy, I don't always feel like that's what it is though. So I feel like maybe that's, you might feel that way as well, but maybe you do always try to help people and feel like that's what it is. But it could also just mean that perfectionistic, thinking of Virgo, it's like nitpicky in a way, very critical, discriminating, able to see, able to separate the chaff from the wheat, just seeing what's important and what isn't, so that discriminating, but not that kind of discriminating. But in a way, it is the same thing. So, but not in that way. So, but yeah. So we do have here. Your Mars is in house 6, establishing a foundation, health, daily life, and practical details. And what's funny too about the 6th house is that's the house that rules Virgo. So you kind of have this thing going on here that's coming back together. You have a big, like Virgo is like pretty strong since this is the ruler of your chart and we're looking at the ruler of its planet and it goes to Virgo and house 6. It's like very much Aries and Virgo here. It's like this, and which is funny because they're both kind of different in a huge way. Aries is more thinking of themselves and I'm going to go do this right now. I'm not waiting. You can come or not, but I'm going. So I'm not asking permission. This is what I'm, think of Queen of Wands. It's just like, I'm Felix. It's just like, I'm doing this and I don't really care if you care or not. This is what I'm going to do, So it's funny because then you have Virgo there, and it's like, yeah, you do care what people think, and you care about what people need. So I feel like you're passionate, and that's great, but you're also, and you're probably the first person to start a lot of things and get things going. But no, Felix, Felix, this is why you get okay. This is why you go in the room by yourself. He's trying to screw my little baby cat, who is in heat right now. Probably for like the first time, I think. Anyway, so yeah, we have this like big, so it's kind of a cool contrast there, but it actually works together. But do you see how it works together? Like it's like you're actually able to this is how you kind of take action. And I would say you take action, this is kind of a big part of your personality since it's the ruler of your chart. But the ruler of your chart, it's not just taking action, it's not just like Aries, it's taking action for others a lot of the time, which is interesting to see that with Aries there. So let's see what else we can find. Okay. Also, so Aries is cardinal, right? Instigation, bravery, and a pioneering spirit. Remember what I said about being first, right? So this is what rules your chart. And that's Yang, of course, which is proactivity, expression, doing, and forward motion. Doing. And it's funny because Mars, too, is the same thing, like taking action. Okay, so then mutable is Virgo. Surrender, fluidity, and welcoming change. So it's funny because you see the contrast. You have Cardinal, who's going and starting things and isn't waiting and is just going, moving fast, like now. And then you have Virgo, which is adapting, Mutable, able to accept change coming in and just surrendering fluidity, you know, going with the flow, just allowing things to happen, adapting to it in any way it needs. And that's yin. So intuition, trust, patience, spirituality, and receptivity. That's a cool card. So it's kind of like this, like, it's a lot different than you would, you know, it's not even close to being the same thing really, but it works and it works together, you know, and it blends together in that way, which is kind of a cool thing. Like now I'm seeing that as something like, I feel like if it was my chart, I'd be all confused, like, oh, that doesn't really make sense. Like, how am I going to work those two energies? But in this way, it really is a lot easier to see in somebody else's chart, for me at least. So that's cool. It's kind of why I'm doing this, because it's fun. Let's see, yang. I'm very impatient. I'm very adaptable. Yeah. Yeah. That's the contrast there. It's like, that's the Aries, that's the Mars rising or ruling your house, your chart. I mean, that's that right there. It's like you're impatient. I could, you know, obviously you're impatient because Aries wants to go now, now, now. You know, I want what I want right now. You know, I want to go, go, go. I don't want to wait for this to happen. I'm just going to make it happen. Okay. And if I can't, then I'm going to be frustrated, you know? And then you have, like, you know, you said you're adaptable. So that's good. I mean, that's a good way to look at it. Like, you know, look at the good part of it. If there are struggles, then you have to look at the other aspects in your chart too, which we can do because we have the aspects in this deck as well, which is pretty cool. Okay, I'm going to actually look at that for you. Let's see what it's aspecting, if anything. Yep, squaring the moon. Perfect. I mean, not perfect, but yeah, that's what we kind of want to see. Good thing it's separating for you, though, so it's not like, it's something that's kind of like going away from you. It's not something that's going to happen in the future. It's more like dying out, that energy. So, so square the moon. That's hilarious. Okay, your moon's in Capricorn. In the 9th house. And your sun isn't, no, we're not looking at the sun. We're looking at ascendant, right? Aries. Yeah, and then Capricorn in the 9th. Okay. That's an interesting placement to have in the 9th house, I would think. 9th. Capricorn. And the moon. And then it's squaring, right? Okay, so apparently there's no ascendant in this deck, which I'm surprised to see that there isn't, which is weird to me. I feel like there would be, but there's not. So here's what we're going to do. pull out this fancy little book here. And so this right here is ascendant, basically. That's what we're wanting to see there. But we're seeing house 1. And you don't have any planets in your first house. So yeah, really we're not looking at the first house, and we're looking at the ascendant. Let's see what the ascendant says here. I mean, I know what it is, but just to explain it to you. Okay, so let's not look at the ascendant then, since we don't have that card. That sucks, but whatever. Let's look at... Oh, wow, your 10th house is in Capricorn. That means you're probably going to have a good career, or at least be focused on that. Sun in Scorpio. Let's look at that one. Sun in Scorpio square Uranus. In the 7th house. That's funny, my Uranus is in Aquarius as well. Which means we're around the same age. And yours is in the 11th house as well. That's funny. Because that's what the 11th house is ruled by, is Aquarius. So, all right. This is what we have for you. Scorpio, Sun in the 7th house, which means intensity, exposing, purging, renewing. So you self-express and embody truth through intensity, exposing, purging, and renewing. That's Scorpio Sun. Okay. You self-express and embody truth through intensity, exposing, purging, and renewing. And on top of that, this is the area of life that it's focused on, is profound relationships, intimacy, and romantic partnerships. So it's like you really are focused on your relationships, which is not kind of unlikely for a Scorpio, but some Scorpios aren't really into being in serious relationships, but most of the time, I feel like, well, not most of the time, you know, you have to look at the whole chart, but I feel like Scorpios are, you know, a lot of times they are into serious relationships. Like it's either they are or they are not. You know what I mean? Like they're either like not gonna be in a committed relationship at all with anybody, like they're non-committal, or they're like very much like, if I like you, you're mine now. And it's like, no, you're not going any, like it's like once you're in, you're in. And if you do anything to fucking betray my trust, then you're fucked, because, you know, how Scorpios are. So that is squaring, which is a challenging situation and a mountain to climb. So with the square, it's not like the end of the world. I mean, it is a challenging situation and a mountain to climb, but there's a mountain to climb. There's a challenging situation to overcome. You know, you can actually make it better, you know? Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know. So this is squaring. So this is a challenging situation in regards to radically change. Wow, that's what Uranus is. Yeah. Radically change. Shocking. You know, it's what's needed. It's like the tower. And so here we have originality, philanthropy, and progressive imaginings. Yeah, see, that's why. That's why. Okay. Friends, like-minded groups, and humanitarian beliefs. So in your life, it's, you know, that's everybody who has Aquarius or Uranus in Aquarius, which I have it as well. That's talking about a whole generation. It's not talking about like you personally. I mean, it is, but it's talking about like your contribution to the generation, like the whole generation of this, you know, of people who have this placement. I don't know how many years exactly it goes. I'd have to look into that. I forget how many years Uranus stays on one sign. But but that's, you know, it's basically saying our generation is going to have to change radically, you know, and in an original way and in a progressive way. And we're going to need, you know, like-minded groups, people, friends, beliefs. I mean, humanitarian beliefs. I mean, so it's like we're gonna all. It's kind of already what's happening, right? It's kind of already like in a big way. People are kind of changing a lot of things, and they're able to do that now. And people are kind of coming together and saying that they want things a certain way, and it doesn't have to be as conventional as it used to be. And so we're already kind of seeing like that happen. So it's interesting that this is a square. So maybe, you know, this is a challenging situation and a mountain to climb for you. It looks like your relationships are going to be affected by this. Like people that you might date somebody that's older or younger, and maybe they're just not going to agree with you on certain things that you feel like the world needs to change, and that's going to be some kind of a challenge. So it seems like that's a big deal, just because it's a good thing, you know. There's nothing wrong with the Aquarius in Uranus, you know. It seems like a good thing, right? So why would it be squaring something, another good thing, you know? And it's going to be intense because that's what Scorpio is. But it kind of is tricky here because it kind of just seems like, to me what I see that meaning is, it's like your relationships in general are going to be you know, a challenge because of your beliefs, you know, in this way. And so, like I said, it could be somebody older or younger, but somebody who does not have this Uranus and Aquarius placement, obviously, because they're not in agreement with this. And for some reason, it's kind of a challenge for you. So, wow, that's pretty cool. I mean, it's not, but it is. It's cool to know. Crazy. So make sure you tell people from the gate, look, these are my beliefs. And if you don't, you know, so you can just avoid that whole getting attached thing with somebody that you really that doesn't have the same beliefs as you know. And that's fine, you know, some people can do that, but some people can't, and they'll be miserable. So if that's you, I'd let them know right away. Whoever you're dating, it's like, just let them know, this is what I believe. Are you against it or for it? Okay. But if you can live with that, then that's fine. That's, you know, it's not impossible to live with people like that who don't believe in the same things you do. Hey, Priya. Thanks for subscribing. Yeah, I'm glad to see you here. Go ahead and read the description just so you can know kind of like how this is working today. I'm just looking at this new deck with you guys. We're going to look at our charts and stuff like that. If you guys do want... Oh, okay. All right. Katrina Brenda. Yeah, if you guys do want readings, I am doing readings for donations. It'll be one question for 5, 2 questions for 10. So let's see here. Katrina. That's funny. Katrina. Oh, I'm sorry. No, you're telling me, Katrina. Brenda donated, right? It's Brenda? Where's Brenda? Hi, Infinity 17. I see your question. I'm just going to... Okay. So you said you want to know, what is Anthony feeling after what I texted him? Thank you. You said he's a Pisces. I'm a Scorpio. Okay. All right. Let's look into this. And thank you, by the way. Okay, let's look into this for you. Bye-bye for now, Dad. It is beautiful, though, huh? I like it, too. It's very cool. All right. So let's see. What is Anthony thinking after you texted him? He left me on red, but I know he's at work. What is he feeling? Okay, I was going to say, what is he thinking? What is he feeling? What is Anthony feeling and thinking about Brenda now after she's texted him? What does he feel and think about this in regards to her and this text? What does he think and feel? Can you tell us what he thinks and feels about this? Okay, well, clearly enough, he is not really sure how to feel about it or think. You know, he's weighing his options, kind of like, shoot, what do I go with? Do I go with this, or do I stay with what I've been doing, or do I, go in this direction? It's kind of like weighing his options. There's different, things in his life happening. It doesn't have to be different people. It's just, he's kind of deciding like whether or not he should engage is what I'm feeling. And yeah, it's like part of him wants to, because the King of Wands here is somebody who's going to take action. It's somebody who's going to make shit happen for themselves. Like, they're not going to be shy about it. Well, not necessarily. Depending on how they're, expressing themselves, it's a different story. But basically, this person has determination and they want to like take action. So, I mean, they do want what they want. It's kind of a greedy thing, I feel like. This person isn't too concerned with how you are feeling or what you're wanting, is what I'm seeing here with the Nine of Cups, because it's kind of like a person who's concerned with what they can get out of it. You know what I'm saying? So be careful with that. Okay, so that's just what I'm first seeing. He's weighing his options of like, is this really going to be what I want? Is what I want in this, like, is she going to be able to provide me with what I want? I don't know exactly the dialogue he's saying to himself, but he's like weighing his options here. Like, he wants to take action in a way that is going to get him what he wants. So he's like, is this going to give me what I want here? He just isn't too sure yet. And I feel like you're going to be stressed out by the situation. You probably already are, since you're asking this, and it's kind of like something that just happened. Yeah, it's obviously a big deal for you, and it just seems like it's going to end in something that's kind of just not happy. But that's the thing too, when we see this like whole determination for what he wants, it's not really thinking much about what you want. And so that's obviously going to, this makes sense here, doesn't it, with the Nine of Swords? Like, yeah, you're stressed because this person's really not considering anyone else but himself and what he can get out of it. So very soon here, what are we seeing? Yeah, I mean, we have the Five of Swords. Every single time you see the Five of Swords, it's bad, okay? The Five of Swords is a nasty person. It's like a person who wants to win at all costs, a person who does not care if the person is their own size or if they're younger or smaller. They're just fighting to win. And they will win too, because they won't back down and they won't feel bad. You know what I mean? It's really disgusting, that energy there. So this is like quickly here coming in after this whole like feeling of sadness and basically just being on your mind 24/7. This is a stressful thing for you. Very quickly, we start to see the ugly side of a person. And that could be you. Maybe that's you, who's like, you know what? Screw this. I'm gonna get back at him or something. I don't know. I've had people say that before. No, that's my energy. No, that's me. And I'm like, are you sure? They're like, yeah, no, it's totally me. I'm the one who wants to win at all costs. So I mean, I don't want to put that past you now. It could be you, but it just seems like the person's not a person to fuck with. And not like you did something bad to them, but it's just like, for some reason, if they can't get what they want out of it, they still will get what they want out of it, and it won't be what you want. It won't be the same thing. It'll be something that hurts you. So he said he misses me all the time, but no action. We just talked really after 6 months. Yeah, so there's still like this seething anger or something beneath, because why is the Five of Swords coming out? Let's see if we can find out what that's doing here. Why is the Five of Swords here? Why is the Five of Swords here? Tell me what the Five of Swords is doing here. The devil. So this is Capricorn energy, but I don't think it is. I think it's talking about the devil. It's a toxic thing. It's a thing you feel pulled, like you feel drawn to it. Like you see these two here, they're like, they cannot break away from this devil character because they're chained to the devil. And basically it's not a choice. It's kind of like a urge, a compulsion, an impulsive thing. But no, more of a compulsion. It's like you can't really, it's just an urge, and it's really hard to brush off your back. So I feel like that's all this is. And maybe even for the both of you, it could be that this is like an urge you guys feel toward each other, but it's really a toxic thing. You guys would know better than I know how this whole thing ended. I mean, the devil's here. You probably understand why. It's like, he says he misses you. There's been no action. And he's wanting to take action in some way, but he's wanting to take action toward what he wants and what he's going to get out of it. And so obviously, naturally, that's not going to really, be in your best interest, because he's really not concerned with what your best interest is. Not saying that couldn't change, but right here, we're not seeing that it will. We're seeing that this is what it is, and it's really not cute. You know what I mean? It's not something that I would like even recommend to a friend to like start dating this type of guy. You know what I mean? A guy who's not even considering you. It's like, it's definitely important what you feel and want. So remember that. And this is not, representative of that concept. So please remember that, and do with this what you will. But I feel like, yeah, okay. So I mean, yeah, we have the addiction there, but I'm talking about this Five of Swords here. This is not a good person. I mean, not to say this person isn't good in other areas of his life. Maybe he is, but I feel like with your guys' situation, it's toxic. And, even with him not taking action, we see this like Two of Pentacles thing. You know, he's saying he wants this and that, but he's not taking action. But we do have the King of Wands here, so it's like, why isn't he taking action? He can, he wants to, but he's selfish about it. He's greedy, and he's not really considering what you want. And so obviously to you it's stressful. I just don't think it's really a person that seems all that special. It doesn't seem like this person really considers much else than what he wants out of things, and so that's not going to be good for you in the end. But that's just what I'm seeing with this. Just as a friend, I'm just trying to say this just doesn't seem like something that is in your best interest. It's not even being concerned with your best interest, really. So that's really not in your best interest at all, because they don't think about that. They're thinking about them. And you're thinking about them too. Like me telling you this, I feel like you're going to say, and I'm not like calling you out or anything, like, I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just saying, like, I feel like you're going to be like, okay, so he's just wanting to get what he wants out of it, so I'm going to try to be what he wants. And that's not going to even work, because he's probably hard to satisfy. He's probably hard to he probably doesn't even say what he really wants. It's just kind of this unspoken thing that's forbidden, and you'll never know. And you just are going to feel like you're not enough. And that's not true. So, just don't think that. If it comes to that, don't think that you're not enough or that you can't be what he wants, because even if you aren't what he wants, that doesn't mean you're not enough. You can find something better than this. This is really just kind of you're going to be chasing this person around, and it just doesn't seem like it's, and with this Devil here, it's like both of you are kind of feeling that energy of like that pull to each other. So it's kind of like, it's not even that you really want it. It's that it's just this lingering thing that keeps you hooked, and you don't even know why. And it's like stupid. You know what I mean? It's not even like, it's not like it's a healthy thing, is what I'm saying. Yeah. It's not something to strive for, like, this is what I want to be, this type of relationship when I grow up, No. Not at all. Not at all. So let's see if there's any actions towards you. So what we know here is that, about the text, he's indecisive about it. He's wanting to know, is this going to be in my best interest? And that's pretty much it. I mean, he's weighing his options right now. So let's see what he's going to be doing. If everything goes the way it's supposed to, is planned from here on out, then this is how it will go. Obviously, if you decide, fuck this motherfucker, I'm not even going to talk to him ever again, then what I'm about to tell you right now is not going to be relevant anymore, because the outcome will change, obviously. Because we have free will, we can change the outcome. The cards are not set in stone. This is like, if right now you decide you want to be with this person or whatever the case is, however you feel now, then this is likely to go down. But if tomorrow you go, you know what, screw him, and you just change your whole direction, probably be a little bit different with the outcome, okay? So just keep that in mind. But if you're trying to go the way you're trying to go right now with it tomorrow, then this should still be relevant. Three of Pentacles. Okay. Interesting. So there's fear here in this situation. So I think basically, I don't know how you guys ended, okay, and I'm not going to ask. It's really not it's not vital that I know that. It's just, I'm just telling you that this is kind of what's coming out, and I'm just saying that so you kind of think about, those things, like how it ended. And I'm saying that because it seems like there's fear here, like there's just anxiety. Somebody's not sure what's going to happen next. Like something might have ended pretty badly, or it left you guys in a state of not knowing what's going to happen next. Like maybe there was some negative words or kind of threats maybe, or something like that, to where someone would have to be worried, or maybe someone was just worried that they would lose the person because they kept threatening that they'd leave or something. But we do have actions towards you. This could be talking about a third party, but more it's to me talking about collaboration. So there's more than one person involved. Doesn't mean romantically necessarily, but there is more than one person involved, communicating and collaborating and trying to exchange ideas and trying to make something happen here. So it's cooperation in a way, is what I'm seeing. And so with the Temperance card here, that's Sagittarius. But if it's not a Sag in your life, then we're talking here about, the peace and the harmony, trying to, have balance and trying to. So I feel like along with the King of Cups, this person is going to be trying to create some kind of balance or be like nice and try to just have harmony. Like they're not trying to have drama. They're not trying to cause extra drama. They're not playing games and just being stupid. Like it seems like they are going to try to, at least they're going to try to express or show or, maybe even just act like they are trying to be civil with you, but I definitely don't see any like Five of Swords energy like we saw before. So that's why I said it could be acting, but you never know. I'm just saying that to me, they're going to be trying to be nice. Okay. So whether or not they really are nice, there's still that fear there. Just keep your eye out for that. Just try to, keep your intuition on high and try to detect whether or not you feel the person's being fake, because you probably know that, better than anyone, because you're in that situation with the person. Don't ignore those little things that come to your mind, like, oh, this person's being fake as fuck right now. Just let it happen. Let it, tell you the truth and see it for what it is, And we have young earth energy. So this person's going to try to come off caring and balance, at least civil. They're going to try to seem like the good guy in the situation, right? Not the Five of Swords. And then it's like they're just focused on their stability. They're just focused on their practicality. They're just focused on their security is what they're presenting, right? But there's this fear here. So maybe they're afraid that it's going to fuck up whatever they've been building, in regards to their security or their job, maybe their home, their money, whatever. Maybe they feel like they'll fall off, or they feel like you'll get them fired, or something. Someone's afraid of what's going to happen to their security or their idea of security, right? Because this is young security. This is not like established security. This is like the beginning stages. This is like ideas, and hopes and dreams. It's not like this is what it is. If it is, it's the early stages. So that's probably why he's fearful of losing it, because it's not even set in stone yet. So closed off, someone not giving or taking any offers, and then the Tower. So if you do engage this, you guys are not even close to being done with whatever, like, not necessarily that it's going to be a good romantic relationship. I'm saying that there's still transformation that needs to take place between both of you. And so that's why the Tower's here. And it's funny because the Tower is talking about changes that need to be made that aren't made. Remember, we were talking about Uranus? It's like radical change, shocking radical change. That's what the Tower is. It comes in and it just changes shit, because guess what? Your path is a certain way for a certain reason. And when you start to veer off, these little hints, okay, change this. Like, this is an abusive relationship. I should get out of it. That this job you hate, so you should get out of it. That, you want to live in a different place or something, or like you want to like have a different, room, or you want to have a different home, or you want to have it, you want to make little change. You want to start going to school, you want to be a lifeguard, whatever it is. You want to do these little things along the way that you don't do. And so then the Tower comes in and goes, boom, I'm going to change everything all at once. And it's going to be difficult for you because you didn't make these little changes along the way. You could have made it easier for yourself, but people don't like change a lot of times. A lot of people are uncomfortable with change, so they resist change. And then guess what? Little things start to weigh in, and the walls start to get, the walls start to close in on themselves, and you can't live like that anymore. So the Tower comes and says, okay, boom, I'm just going to change everything all at once. And a lot of different areas of your life are going to seem like they're falling apart, and they're going to seem like they're not working out, but that's a good thing. Later on, you'll see why. You'll see why this had to happen in order for you to grow and evolve and kind of, make the changes that you didn't make. And, for some people, it's brutal, but really, when you think about it, the Tower is really just change. So look at it like that. If you can welcome change, it won't be as uncomfortable for you. If you can't, which is why the Tower is here anyway, because you haven't made certain changes, so it's kind of, that's kind of what it's talking about, is that you don't really like change in a way. But maybe you just didn't see the changes that you needed to make. Maybe you just didn't pay attention to them, and maybe you didn't resist them hardcore. You just kind of didn't pay attention and take action. But, just try to look at it like when things start to kind of go wrong or fall apart or seem like they're not working in different areas of your life, just try to stay strong and remember it's not going to always be that way. And these are just little changes that need to be made, and you just need to kind of flow with it. Like, don't try to put your hand in the situation. Don't try to be like stopping things from changing. Don't try to like stop people from doing things that they're trying to do, because you can't anyway. You know, you can sometimes, you can try, but really like it's gonna fuck everything up. Don't try to do it. Like, don't try to stop anything from happening, and don't try to make something happen that isn't happening. Like, if you keep trying to push for shit and it's just not happening, just stop. Just stop doing that, you know? Because it's not happening. Just flow right now. That's what the tower's here for. And that's cool because the four of cups here now, I'm seeing it as a good thing. Not giving or taking any offers. It's like, well, in a way that would be closed off to change, but it's more like you're not trying to put your hand in anyone's anything. You're just letting it happen because that's what needs to happen. Even before the tower. So maybe we're saying here, this is something that, you know, you need to be making changes and letting things kind of happen, and you're not giving or taking any offers. You're kind of being stubborn. You're being like, nope, not gonna do it. I don't even care what you're saying. I'm just stubborn as fuck right now. And then the tower comes, because guess what, it's time for change. So yeah, if you keep fucking with this person, it is not going to be over with all the changes that take place, because one of the biggest changes is probably that you're not supposed to fuck with this person anymore. But you know, we do have free will, so that's where it comes in. That's where it says you can do whatever the fuck you really want to do, and your life is going to go the way you want it to go. You know, or not necessarily the way you want it to go, but the way your actions are going to have reactions, and they're going to take shape. You're going to see it all manifest and build, and it's going to be either beautiful or very miserable, or maybe a little bit of both. You know what I mean? So it's like, just make the changes you need to make. Do what you're going to do. I just think, you have the information. I'm telling you, you have the information. So you're going to do what you're going to do with it anyway. Every time I've ever gotten a tarot reading, I never listen to what they say anyway. So I'm not judging. Like, if you don't listen to what I am saying. I get it. I've done it a million times. So just saying good luck, and you deserve better. Please remember that. Just do what you need to do, for yourself. And not in the way he's doing it, but just in the way that, like, you should be doing it, Like, he's being greedy and selfish. You're, like, needing to think about yourself more, But it seems like you kind of understand that. Like, you're not just like, oh, well, wait, he doesn't want to be with me or something. You're like, nah, I'm not even going to be his little bitch. Like, you're like, I'm not about all that. I'm done with that. So that's good. Yeah, and it seems difficult, but it's really not that hard. I mean, I don't want to say that. I'm not you. I can't really just say that. So let me take that back. Yes, more self-love for sure. More self-love. Get into some hobbies or something that make you feel good about yourself. Like, get into your own brain about, like, what do I like to do? And it's not other people. You know what I mean? It's like, what do I actually like to do? Be in the here and now. Because worrying about tomorrow is just, it's like you're worrying about something that doesn't even exist yet. It is so true. Yeah, Taylor. What is your birthday? And we'll look it up. Give me your birthday and your date of birth and your city as well. Okay. You're a Virgo. Okay, September 8th, 2001, correct? What do you mean? Too much information. What do you mean? Okay, so let's see. All right, we have Saturn in the 9th house. That's the first thing it went to because I zoomed in real quick. It went to Saturn in the 9th house, so maybe that's important. Maybe we should look at that. Mercury in the 1st house. You can fucking bet that this person at least is good at communicating, or that's what they do a lot of, or they're good with Libra in the 1st house as well. Well, Mercury in Libra. My Mercury's in Libra as well, but yours is in the 1st house. So that would say even more that it's like you're good at talking and you're probably charming too. People get along with you pretty easily. You know, they feel comfortable around you communicating. You know how to maybe talk yourself out of situations, possibly. Let's see. Miss L. Sun in Virgo, Sun in the 12th house. Interesting. All right, so let's see. Moon in Taurus, Moon in the 8th house, Mercury in Libra, Mercury in the 1st, Venus in Leo, Venus in the 11th, Mars in Sag, Mars in the 3rd, Jupiter in Cancer, Jupiter in the 10th, Saturn in Gemini, Saturn in the 9th, Uranus in Aquarius, Uranus in the 5th. Neptune in Aquarius as well, Neptune in the 4th. Did you know Neptune is in, okay, wait, my Neptune's in my 4th house too. So that's why Neptune right now, that's where it's at, is in your 4th house, literally, transit-wise. Actually, shit. No, I have that wrong because mine's in Pisces. That's why it's in my 4th house. Yours is in Gemini. I mean, Aquarius. Scratch that. Pluto and Sag, like me. But yours is in the 3rd. Okay. So what do we want to look at here? What do we want to... Your North Node's in Cancer in the 9th house. It's so interesting. So that means your South Node is in Capricorn in the 3rd. Do you want to hear about that? Oh yeah, that's really interesting right there. Let's do that. Okay, so let's do your South and North node. Okay, North in Cancer, which is water. And then we have Capricorn Earth, which is actually, both of those are yin. So let's see. North Node, Capricorn. I mean, North Node, Cancer, sorry. North Node and South Node. All right, So what's really cool about the North and the South Node, I don't know if you know anything about that already, but it's really cool because it's kind of talking about karma and reincarnation, past lives, things like that. So what we're talking about here is your South Node is in Capricorn. Let's see, it was in the 3rd house, right? Third house, and then we have the 9th house. All right, so I also have a book about the South or the North Node, and it's really interesting. You guys should get it. I don't have it linked in this video, but I have it linked in my other videos, the North Node one, if you guys are interested. It's so in-depth about your past life and what you're supposed to evolve into. It's like really cool. So we'll talk about that at another time, but it's very interesting. So your South Node here is destined to release, okay? In this life, this is what you're destined to release. This is basically what you're going to not be doing anymore. These kind of energies are not working for you anymore. And what that is ambition, realism, and methodical steps in the house of spiritual growth. Interesting. So I feel like I definitely see that with Cancer in 3rd, because what it's saying is basically spiritual growth. It's higher learning, it's higher minded thinking. It's like spirit, it's not really just the, practical details. It's like transcending more. It's like higher knowledge, basically, like what you can learn, it's not just the details and the facts, the here, like on this earth, just what you can see and touch and feel, the material, it's like more spiritual. And so with Capricorn, it's like you were, maybe ambitious about it, but it was like methodical steps, it wasn't like getting outside of your mind in like really trying to transform spiritually. It was probably blocked by that Capricorn there. So, because they're not really about that, as much as the 9th house is, obviously. So let's see what we have here too. And then along with Earth, it's persistence, patience, and practicality. Yeah, see, so it's like if you're going to spiritually grow, it's not exactly a practical thing that you're trying to focus on. It's kind of just like this, it's spirit, it's not about facts and figures and what's right and wrong. It's kind of just your own personal thing. So the North Node now makes sense because in this life, destined to have is the North Node. Destined to have. So destined to have and go more toward this kind of energy with Cancer in house 3. So interesting. Remember how we were saying, Mercury rules your chart. So Mercury is actually the ruler of house 3, which is Gemini, is house 3. And Gemini is ruled by Mercury. And so is Virgo as well. And that's what your sun sign is. So that's even more interesting. So the ruler of your chart, it's funny because that's what, that's what house 3 here, you're going towards that. And so obviously that makes sense why that's there in your placements, very prominent in the ruler of your house. It's kind of like you had it's kind of like you had a head start, at evolving because your chart already shows that you're like going in that direction. So Cancer is nurture, comfort, and protection. And house 3 is early learning, childhood relations, and the rational mind and communication. So again, we have that rational mind, right? So that's kind of what we're talking about with like the Capricorn practicality thing. But in this way, it's more about like getting outside of yourself, like learning more so that you can evolve. It's not really so stuck and rigid inside Capricorn anymore. I feel like it's more talking about like, and this is for nurture, comfort, protection, for security, for your own security, like emotionally, for you to feel okay. So the childhood's going to have a lot to do with that, early learning, childhood relations. It's really going to affect you, kind of the things that you learned early in life. But that's okay. That's apparently it's going to help you to evolve even more. Like I said, it seems like you kind of had a head start. Like things were kind of already set up and like worked for you in certain ways, or like we're going in that direction already. But yeah, like we said too about the communication thing, that's what's going to help you kind of evolve as well. Destined to have. So I would bet that your communication with others, like it's easy for you to talk to people unless you have like Saturn in the 5th or something. But and actually I don't know, maybe you do. We do have to look at all the placements and everything. I can't just generalize. but that's kind of what I just did. Nope, Saturn's in the ninth. Oh, yeah, definitely. So remember, Saturn, okay, your south node's in the ninth, right? So Saturn is conjunct your south node. Girl, that, okay. Okay, scratch that. You're actually, my bad. Your south node's in third. So we're gonna switch that up really quick, okay? All right. You're destined to have nurture, comfort, and protection and spiritual growth. See, that makes a lot more sense, doesn't it? Look at this. Okay, that's all backwards, but look. I was like, something's not right here because your south node is not okay. So your south node, destined to release, ambition, realism, and methodical steps, early learning, childhood relations, the rational mind, and communication. So it actually seems like your childhood plagued you in a past life. Like your past life was more about like you being affected from your childhood and the early learning in the childhood years, and so that's why you had to kind of take that more like realism, methodical step type approach, and it wouldn't have changed. Like that's something that you kind of like were stuck in because of your childhood and because of the early learning experiences. Your rational mind felt safer in that area of like what's real and what isn't, like actual facts. Like you didn't spiritually grow. It was more about like, and that's why in this life it's about spiritually growing because it's evolving. You're trying to evolve. So you've already got this one down, the practical, the methodical, the organized, able to see facts and figures, and you know you got that part down. This time you're coming to nurture, comfort, and protect spiritual growth. So yeah, it's really about you evolving into a more spiritual person. And that's for your own safety, for your own security, which makes a lot more sense, doesn't it? Yeah, that's funny. So it makes a lot more sense actually, because now it's actually about you evolving into a more spiritual person. It doesn't have to have all that like back and forth, like, okay, now I have this like, what are the facts and what is real and what's not real? Like, what am I looking at here? What is it? I don't see it. I can't feel it. I can't touch it. No, it's about like you're transcending and you're kind of you're evolving because of that, because you're trying to spiritually grow. So that's actually easier in Cancer. So that's good. Shouldn't be as difficult as it would be in Capricorn, because that would kind of be difficult in Capricorn. Because they're looking at the truth and what, or they're looking at practical, like not mundane necessarily, but they're looking at practical, like things they can touch and see and feel. They're not really looking for ideas, or like possibilities. They're looking for like, what is it, or what isn't it? And so that can get in the way sometimes when we're trying to spiritually grow, but not for you, not this time. Good. Oh yeah. That's cool. I forgot about that. Obviously, you didn't because it's your reading and you remember that, which is cool because I didn't remember that before we did this right now. So see how that works, how it goes together? I love that. I love astrology. It's really cool. It's very interesting. It goes so deep. It's like crazy. Okay, let's see. Okay. Wait, is it November 1st or is it January 11th? Well, I got this new deck. And I just think it's really cool. And I just wanted to look at people's like charts and stuff because it seemed like a good idea. It seemed like something fun to do. November. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, well, Sagittarius rules the ninth house, and that's kind of what we're talking about with that. So I guess you could say Jupiter's part of that, but I mean, the houses are, yeah, I don't know if, I mean, I guess you could say that because, and Jupiter is about higher knowledge too, but it's more about expansion and it is about growth. So that's, spiritually, yeah, it could be looked at as that for sure. That makes sense. Wait, okay. 7:10 a.m. And India. Where in India though? Like what city can I put down? Okay. Is Haryana, is that part of it? Because that's what's coming up. Haryana. Okay. Oh, we have kind of similar placements here. It says, yeah, we have like the same houses. That's cool. So, it says your rising is Scorpio. Let's see. And Pluto in Sagittarius. And Pluto in the first house. Oh, so we have that same placement here. But Mars is also ruled by Scorpio. Or traditionally Mars rules Scorpio as well as Pluto. So ruler of the 10th house, which is the sun, in the 12th house. Yeah, your sun's opposite your moon. That's pretty cool. That means you were born on a full moon. Did you know that? Yeah. Emotions and feelings of the moon are the opposites of the ego and individuality of the sun. This can occasionally cause conflicts, especially in relationships between close family members, parents, and children, or with the opposite sex. This aspect is called the full moon. Fuck yeah. And it's applying, which means it has yet to happen. Your north node is in Gemini in the 8th house, which means your south node's in Sagittarius in the 2nd house. Oh, that's funny. North Node in Gemini brings the conflict between seeking objectivity and lively communication on the one hand, and clinging to a highly subjective understanding, firmly anchored opinions, and commands on the other. These people need to learn how to express complex contexts and ideas in everyday language, how to convey spiritual thinking into practical life, transfer it in comprehensible form, and show clearly the connection between the philosophical and noble knowledge and values of everyday life. Beware of prejudices and stubborn beliefs. Okay, let's look at your North Node. North Node in Gemini. Or let's look at your Sun opposite Moon. I don't think they have the. Let's see. The Sun. Synchronicity, self-expression, identity, vitality, what needs to radiate and shine in your father. Embodying your truth, the person you were born to be, joy, your experience of masculine energy. And that is opposing. Imbalance, a power struggle, a point of tension. With your Moon. which is your soul, memory, and the past, sense of home and security, your mother. Oh, wow, yeah. I forgot about that whole mother-father thing. Your emotional response to life, how you nurture yourself and others, psychic revelations, bone-knowing intuition, your experience of feminine energy. There's tension between that and your self-expression, your identity. Your past and your identity don't mix. Or you wish it was different.